How are you?
I am really great.
Thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks for coming to Ottawa and doing this fun thing for us. This is amazing.
Oh my God, it's my pleasure. This isn't your first Junos. You were nominated 7 times.
I'm like a 10-time loser for sure. Yep, somewhere in there. Yeah. Actually, no, I did win one Juno. I won a Juno for being in the Wave and Flag song. I was like one of 800 people who sang in the like.
Doesn't matter. Juno winner Kathleen Edwards.
Yeah.
Done.
I might have gotten rid of that. No, I still have it.
I saw it on Kijiji. I did. Looking to buy espresso maker, will sell Juno. You've lived in Ottawa just about your whole life, right?
Yeah.
And I want to get into your Q block party. So how this is going to work is we're going to play clips from a playlist that you gave us, and you're going to tell me about how each song takes you to a certain place and a certain time in Ottawa. You ready for this?
Ready to go back. It's like Wayne's World.
Okay, let's cue up the first song. Here you go.
Misguided angel hanging over me, heart like a Gabriel, pure and white as ivory, soul like a Lucifer,
Don't stop.
black and cold like a piece of lead.
Beautiful. You should think about singing. That's Misguided Angel by the Cowboy Junkies. Where does that take you?
Well, I remember one of my first boyfriends, very sweet, innocent little high school boyfriend, would come and pick me up before school, and he was like into music.
Right.
So he'd be like, "You gotta hear this cool song by the Cowboy Junkies." I was like, "Oh, it's music."
Yeah.
Yeah, and he loved that song. And so then I remember falling in love with the Cowboy Junkies. As you kind of grow in age and you become not radio synced, you start developing musical tastes of your own, and I fell in love with the Cowboy Junkies.
And didn't you end up meeting them at some point?
Yeah, so my first job was at Starbucks on Elgin Street. Yep. And I worked there so long ago that the machines were manual still, the espresso machines.
Right.
And the Cowboy Junkies came in one day because they were on tour and they were doing some press that day. They came in, I was like,
Right.
And back in the day, they had these booklets. If you messed up a drink or something, you were always encouraged, if you thought someone wasn't having a good time, you were always encouraged, free drink, get whatever you want next time, and people would love it. Well, they had like a booklet this thick, like an inch thick, and it was probably like a month's worth of free coupons we were supposed to give out, and I was just like, oh God, I love you guys so much, here, take this. And I just gave them the whole booklet. They were like, whoa, great.
And hold on, and isn't the person you're running your coffee shop with now in Stittsville, wasn't he at the Starbucks too?
Shh, he was my boss, yes.
Does he know that you gave away 3 months worth of free drinks to the Cowboy Junkies?
Next question. No, he didn't mind. He liked the Cowboy Junkies too. I never told him.
And if they came to Quitters, would they get free drinks?
Yes, I've given many a free beverage to a Canadian touring musician.
You heard it right here. I just heard the Strumbellas jumping high five. This is really great. We're gonna move on to the next song. Take a listen to this.
Everywhere you look, there's a train wreck, baby. Everywhere you look, there's a runaway train. Play my heart like a bottleneck, baby. Running up and down and pulling each string. Everywhere you go, everyone knows you're looking for someone to do. 49 times
I know the coffee thing's working for you, but singing, I think you should give it a shot. It's a beautiful thing. That's a little clip of 49 Tons by Blackie and the Rodeo Kings.
Yeah.
Where does that song take you?
One of my first gigs ever, like a real gig that wasn't playing an open mic night, was I got asked to open for Tom Wilson at the Black Sheep Inn because Paul Symes, who runs the Black Sheep Inn, was really good to local artists. He wanted to give them an opportunity. And then I became acquainted with Tom, and then I became acquainted with Blackie and the Rodeo Kings. And that was the first track on the first Blackie and the Rodeo Kings record. And it just, like, I remember touring across the country in my first van on my own, and that song was just on repeat. And they were heroes of mine, for sure.
For people who are listening to this across the country who haven't had the good fortune of going to the Black Sheep Inn in Wakefield, tell them a little bit about it.
It's the old true hotel of the logging era of like just the area just north of Ottawa. It's about 40 minutes. It's in the most beautiful little town called Wakefield. And it's run by a guy who's like lived and breathed music and playing and having shows come to him. And he is the guy you would go see if you wanted to play music in Ontario. And he booked Ron Sexsmith before Ron Sexsmith could play the NAC. He booked everyone. It's amazing what he used to do.
And they have a dog there, right?
It's a pug, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have.
Just kidding. I love pugs when they're dressed up.
when they're wearing funny little hats.
Yeah.
Let's hear one more song. Well, not one more song. We got lots of songs left. Here's the next song.
Oh, right, I miss you tonight.
Ugh, Jim Cuddy. Who likes that guy?
I'm really sure what to say. Keeps rolling in like a slow-moving train.
He's actually.
I see him over there. I see him over there. We better be polite. Great song, Jim.
Oh.
Lovely stuff. Favorite of all of them. That is Blue Rodeo with a song called Falling Down Blue. Besides sitting in front of Jim Cuddy, you're not to put you on the spot or anything, but where does that song take you?
Okay, so I used to sneak into Barrymore's before I was of legal age to actually see shows there.
So Barrymore's, give us some context on Barrymore's.
Barrymore's is the great rock hall of Ottawa, and it had all these beautiful tiers where you could always see the stage. It was where you went for a killer show. It was just a dynamite place to see a show. When that place was packed, it was hot and it was rocking and it was so cool. And Blue Rodeo would play there, and I remember I was like standing there, I'd snuck in, and one guy who kind of knew me was like, "When are you gonna open for Blue Rodeo?" I was like, "Oh, no." And
it was Tom Wilson.
And I remember like I was just this fearless, bold, annoying kid, and I was just like, I'm gonna put my demo on the stage during their set, and then I'm gonna be famous. And so I would like down to the front,
right.
Like in the middle of a song, I'd slap down my demo, and I remember Jim looking down, being like, okay, next song, check two, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then of course, like I just remember that moment because I just went for stuff. I went for stuff. And Barrymore's was that place where you'd see it. And then of course, like years later, this is so amazing, full circles of life. But I got asked to play a Blue Rodeo song when they received their Governor General's Award for the Arts. And I picked Falling Down Blue because it was always one of my favorites. I wish Greg had sung it, frankly. This would have been better. But I had this moment
he's
where
walking out. Never mind, he's gone. He's out of here.
I had this moment where I'm standing on stage, like playing at the Governor General's Award, and I'm playing to Blue Rodeo, and it was this weird moment where your ex-husband's in the band, and you're like, "I love you guys, and I can't believe this is happening."
Beautiful, beautiful song.
That was a weird footnote there.
Thanks for it, Jim. I just didn't know that you and Jim were married for so long. All right, let's move on to the next song in your Q Live block party for Ottawa. Take a listen to this.
You stayed under the satellite for some time. Another night leads to another night where I'm not necessarily very smart.
That is Satellite by Ottawa's own Jim Bryson. There's a rule at the CBC, whenever you say Jim Bryson, you have to do this. I never know that. Tell me where that one takes you.
Well, Jim changed my life. He was a guy that started playing with me. We met at the Manx pub. Yeah.
I've heard of it.
There are truly good reasons not to put computer screens, televisions, and music in a bar, and the Manx pub is living proof. It's where artists go to talk and hang out, and it's really cool. Anyway, Jim Bryson started playing guitar with me, and I was a huge fan of Jim because that song Satellite was on his first actual album featuring Ian Lefevre and Peter Von Alten, who were in this local band called Starling, and it was just, everyone was so floored when this record came out. The songs are amazing, Jim's singing was amazing, it was just captured this moment, and we were all just like in awe of Jim Bryson.
And did you know then that, because Jim played in your band for a number of years?
Yes, I fired him.
Ooh.
No, he still plays with me.
He still plays with you.
Yeah.
And you ended up writing a song about him.
Yes, I've written some songs about Jim Bryson. Mm-hmm. I love Jim. He's in a
I want to point out, I think Jim Bryson's here tonight. Is he here? Jim, did you make it?
He was at the Juno Cup earlier, and he was complaining about his hamstring, so maybe he's, icing it somewhere.
Jim, are you here?
Oh!
Hey, Jim Bryson, everybody. Stand up, for God's sake. Kathleen, before I let you go, we're broadcasting from Ottawa tonight, but this show is being sent all across the country and throughout the United States. I think Ottawa gets a bad rap sometimes. I've heard Ottawa be called like the city that fun forgot, or But what do you think the rest of the country gets wrong about Ottawa?
The problem with Ottawa is that in photographs, we are like all of the federal and national landmarks. But really, there's what people don't see is that there's all these communities and all these areas in the city that are really where people live, and it's where we've built our communities, and it's where we've built our art scene and our, everything under the sun. And it's, everyone goes to the Parliament buildings, and everyone gets to see the museums, but really you have to look farther than that. And there are beautiful places to go see and explore, but you have to go farther than that, like to Stittsville.
Pluggy, pluggy. Kathleen Edwards, everybody, give her a round of applause. That was her live Q block party for Ottawa.